Do we have a fish, folks? Yeah. Yep. Oh, he got snagged right away. Oh, come on, get out of the weeds. Stupid carp, always in the weeds. I have pretty good line, but I don't know if I'm gonna pull him out of the weeds. Okay, I think he's free. He's free, guys. Okay. He feels decent, actually. He feels heavy, but he got tired from the grass, or maybe he got grass on the line. Yeah, he got grass on the line. That's why he feels like this. Oh, my hand. Little guy. Let's land him. I don't even want to get dirty. I'll let him go in the water. Oh my god, look at this. Yeah. Okay. Very interesting, the drag. I already saw it has not one, not two, but 3 carbon discs inside. And they're a lot finer texture than the complex XR. I think the texture is better than complex XR for a small reel. And yet the performance is exactly like complex XR. It's sticking, and when it finally lets go, all of the pressure goes at once. Holding, then zzz. See? This is just the performance of carbon. I gotta tell you something though. Reeling this carp under pressure, well, there is not a lot of pressure, but okay, whatever pressure there is, the reel does not feel rough under pressure. It feels reasonably smooth. I'm surprised. It feels pretty smooth, as a matter of fact. It feels pretty smooth under pressure. But what a bad luck, man. Both fish I catch are hooked the worst possible way. Take a look at this jewel here. RUNCL Titan 2000. Titan 2 actually, suggesting that there was once a Titan 1. So we're talking about second generation Titan here, not to be confused with the first generation of Titan. But RUNCL is an Amazon vendor, and you know how they often approach you to give you free testers. And usually I say no, except for spinning reels. Spinning reels, first of all, I'm curious, and second of all, I have noticed they make good videos. You guys always click to check what's up with that particular reel. So I said to the vendor, listen, I will take it, but I will say whatever I think, and it might not be positive, to be honest with you. But the lady said, that's fine, and I respect that. So I'm free of any obligations to the vendor. She sent me the reel, and I can say whatever I want, and I think everything is fair. But before you decide that I sold my soul to the devil, I will donate this reel. Not donate, but this reel will be a giveaway when I'm done with it. After everything is said and done, there will be nothing left for me. But okay, you can think whatever you want. This is the reel. Let's do a little review on it while we still have it. This is the reel. This is what it looks like. In my opinion, it doesn't look too bad for what it is. I don't know, you tell me what you think, but I've seen much worse looking reels in Bass Pro shops. As always, these cheap Chinese reels always come with excellent packaging and supporting paperwork and supporting everything. Nice box here, nice little soft baggie. All the paperwork you need. This is maintenance, how to cast. I mean, and they're printed on good paper, not like Shimano Vanquish comes printed on some super cheap paper. This is thick white paper. The diagram here, it says it has 10 bearings plus the anti-reverse. And it has a sticker that I'm actually going to keep and I'm going to put on my boat. I have a cheap boat anyway. Alright, so I already fished the reel. I caught a few small carp with it. I tried to catch a catfish but got rained on the way and turned around and came back. So all I've caught so far is small carp. And boy were they small. I've never had a session where I catch like 5 carp and not one of them is even 5 pounds. But it is what it is. I mean, it is a 2000 size reel after all. I consider any carp at least a reasonable load for a reel of this size. But I haven't opened the reel yet. I want to give you my initial impressions before I open the reel, because once I open the reel, I will probably get biased one way or another depending on what I find inside. So here is the good and the bad. The good is the reel is smooth. Okay, I'm talking about smoothness. People always conflate this smoothness with other things. I'm talking about smoothness alone. Okay, it's not Daiwa, it's not Shimano, but if you have never owned a Daiwa or Shimano, you would be very pleasantly surprised with this reel. The other thing is, with carp on the line, under load, I don't want to call it heavy load, but the load that a 2 or 3 pound carp puts, this reel just feels incredibly rigid and solid just in your hand. Zero flex, twist, anything, no gear misalignment. It's just whatever the smoothness is, even if it's not Daiwa or Shimano, I found no difference in smoothness when I was reeling the fish. Drag sound, I already made a video about this. The best drag sound in the business, bar none. I'm sorry, I got so many comments in that video. People getting offended that I would compare XistLT with this. Drag performance, also very good. I'm not gonna say that it's better than a high-end reel, but it's very good. Not sticky at all, but it does behave like a carbon drag stack. If you saw my videos for the Complex XR, you know how it holds, and then when it releases line, it releases a lot of line. The same exact thing as the Complex XR. But if I didn't call it a defect in the Complex XR, let's be honest and not call it a defect here. What is not good? What is not good is first the weight. This thing is just a brick. I don't know what it weighs. They say 220 grams. The box doesn't have the specs, but I mean, let's just call it half a pound. And you're not gonna be off by much. It's heavy, I mean, and because it's so small, I have never held a reel this small, this heavy. Let me put it like this. And the other kind of negative is, it's not really negative because I was not surprised at all. This is exactly how I expected this reel to feel. And it is kind of clunkiness, which actually comes from the weight, but you know the finesse that Daiwa and Shimano reels have, even if you get a cheap Shimano Sahara, not comparable to this, or Daiwa Legalis for $60, not comparable to this. The level of finesse is, it's like they're from different generations, like they're 30 years apart. But these are my initial impressions. So let's open it and see what's inside now, because this thing does say it has 10 bearings plus the anti-reverse. So I don't know, man, where do you put 10 bearings in this? Let's check it out. Check out this drag stack, folks. 6 discs here, 3 of them carbon. The texture on the carbon is a lot finer than the texture on the Complex XR. I would actually prefer this texture on my Complex XR if I want to have carbon, but I don't know. Three good carbon discs in this drag stack for a reel of this caliber. What else do you want? It will definitely provide you with enough stopping power. I don't know what they say the drag is on this. I'm sure it's some stupid number like 30 pounds. It's not going to be 30 pounds, but it will be more than what you need, okay? Look here now, look inside the spool. I see a bearing, okay? Let's get it out. Now, here is the thing. This is what I don't like. To increase the number of bearings, they put two bearings on top of each other, because now they will come and tell you that they have two bearings in the spool, but this will be misrepresentation, because when they tell you two bearings in the spool, you always think one on top of the spool and one on the bottom of the spool, so the spool is supported on bearings. But no, there is no bearing on the bottom of the spool, and you cannot put a bearing here because it's a metal spool. There is no bushing. If you're gonna do this, at least cut the spool on the bottom and put one more bearing, put the other bearing under the spool, then everything is fair. Then the count is fair. Okay folks, there's supposed to be two bearings inside the knob. I broke my $20 hedgehog tool for opening. The thing came out. Then I tried to use something else. The plastic started deforming but still wouldn't come out. I have opened I don't know how many knobs in my life. First time ever, I cannot open the cap on a knob. Maybe they glued it, but who puts bearings and then glues the cap? Well, look at this. The line roller is on two bearings too. Everything was on two bearings on this reel, folks. I don't know if this is legitimate two bearings. You can say it's again two instead of one, but the reels that have one bearing, sometimes they're half on a bearing, half on a bushing. So I'm gonna give them actually full credit for these two bearings, because the line roller, when I tested it with this, the line roller does spin very freely. Look at this, folks. Carbon cover for protection here. Carbon, I mean the whole reel I thought was just steel, and now we see carbon. I'll be damned. Okay, I take that back. This is plastic, not carbon. The anti-reverse is actually, I don't want to say upside down, because it looks both sides. I cannot find upside. Both sides look like downside. It works fine, and for this price range, I don't see nothing wrong with the anti-reverse. Look at this. I'm not going to remove this plastic because it's very tight. Look at this massive bearing on top of the pinion though. This is just, the pinion is supported on top by this just massive bearing. And this is what's inside, folks. Plenty of grease everywhere. Common locomotive winding, like all of the Daiwa Legalis reels. What I don't see though is the support bearing on the pinion. Folks, this is disappointing. This is the first real problem I have with the reel. The pinion on the bottom is supposed to be supported by a bearing. There is no bearing. It goes, I'm not missing the bearing, because if there is a bearing, then it wouldn't fit. The pinion goes straight into the frame, folks. Look here. The pinion goes straight into the frame. It has a huge bearing on top, just like the Bass Pro Shop formula reel, spinning reel. I pulled one out of the bottom of the lake. I tried to fix it. It had the same design. But look at here in the diagram. Well, I stand corrected. I don't think the diagram shows a bearing there. So, okay, so this is not misadvertisement. So we're good then. I thought there was another bearing under the pinion. Why you put two bearings in the line roller, two bearings in the spool where you don't need any, but you don't put a single bearing on the pinion gear? Come on now. Don't be lazy. The main gear bearings look good. Very good size. I mean, good size main gear bearings and huge bearing on top of the pinion, but put one little bearing under the pinion. But okay, I don't want to beat a dead horse. Let me put the reel together and say a few more words. Alright, so the reel is all done. Everything is nice and smooth. Boy, was this reel packed with grease inside. I don't know if they knew that they're sending the reel to me and I'm gonna open it, and somebody opened it and packed it with grease. That would be cheating. But this reel was packed with grease inside. It definitely does not need any greasing. But what's my opinion on this reel? I'm gonna repeat one more time. Very solid frame, very smooth, even under load. The best drag sound in the business, bar none. I don't want to hear about your Daiwa exist. I don't want to hear about nothing. Best drag sound in the business. Excellent drag performance also with 3 drag discs. I did put some grease there. That's the one place where the reel did not have grease, but you don't really need grease on the carbon discs. The knob, everything is, I don't have any problems with the reel except one. And that one problem is the price. Because the reel is just, it's $50 on Amazon, and that is just too close to Daiwa Legalis and Shimano Sahara, which are $60, $70, depending on, your mileage will vary, but they're $10, $20 more. And this reel is just too close to them. For that price, and it's just much heavier. So anyway, mechanically, the Daiwa and Shimano reels that cost $60, $70 are superior. They're also lighter and they are more finesse reels. They're just more pleasant to fish with. This reel, to me, to be competitive, and I can say it's worth the money, should be $30 or $35. That's it, my honest opinion. Now, the vendor has been very fair. I said I might say negative things, and I did say some, I don't know if they're negative, but I did make some criticisms of the reel. But the vendor has been fair, and I want to be fair too. And the vendor gave me a 20% off the reel. If anybody wants to buy this reel, 20% off of $50, that would make it $40. I'm gonna leave the code in the description that she gave me, but I wanna tell you, I do not make a single penny from this, and I do not benefit any whatsoever from any purchases on this reel. So I will only include the code that the vendor gave me because she was just fair with me, and I want to be fair. So you can buy this reel from her link for $40. This reel also makes a very good present. This reel is just perfect to make a present to your cousin because it looks shiny, it looks pretty, and also when you hold it in your hand and you turn it, it feels heavy, so it feels substantial, it feels smooth also, and it's not that cheap. I mean, what kind of present are you gonna make for $40? I mean, it's not that expensive. $40 is today, it's not a bad price to give somebody a present, or your uncle, okay, your cousin or your uncle, even your grandfather, they'll be happy they have not used the new Daiwa and Shimanos. It would make a good present. You don't need to, I don't know what a real Daiwa or Shimano has for $40. So for those particular applications, if you buy it, you know, it's not too bad actually. But anyway, this video is already incredibly long. I hope I didn't mislead anybody. I did this whole thing just for entertainment. Now look out for the giveaway of this reel. And yeah, thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.